Hi everyone, it's Zoe from Book Reviews with Zoe, and today's video is my March wrap-up and possibly February. I can't remember because I haven't done a wrap-up in ages, but let's get into it. So excuse the lighting because it's at night time and it's the end of a work week and I'm buggered. And we're about to go overseas. So, just lots to do. But that's okay. Let's get into the books that I read in March and possibly February because I can't remember. The last 2 months is all blurred together. So, let's just get into it. So let's get into the books. I read Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. Nice and short. Loved it. Another great T. Kingfisher book. It's weird, odd, like T. Kingfisher does, and just enjoyed it from what I remember. Then I read this book, Wycliffe and the Four Jacks by W.J. Burley, which is a Cornish detective series, and this was utter crap. Awful, didn't like it. I think it's like book 9 in a series, but I don't think it really matters. But yeah, not for me. But if you like detective novels that sort of just have really uninteresting characters, then recommend it. Alright, the next book that I read was this book. What You Are Looking For Is in the Library, the Japanese bestseller by Mikiyama Ayama, maybe? This cover is absolutely stunning. This book, it's a series of short stories, I suppose, and each chapter goes through a different character, a different generation, who all go to this library, community library in Japan, in Tokyo. I would describe it as a community library. But it was translated really well, which was brilliant, because sometimes translated books don't translate. Books that get translated into English sometimes don't translate well, but this translated really well. It's beautifully written. It made me cry. And I can see why pages with Paige absolutely adored this book, because it is beautiful. And if you haven't read it, read it. Let's get into the last 4 books that I read, because I need to wrap up. The next book I read was this one, which was Wayala the Courier Warrior, The Guardians, which is book 1 in this middle grade series by Jordan Guild and Richard Pritchard. This book is amazing, and I wish that I had books like this growing up as a kid. And I can see why my nephew loves this series. So I gave him the first one before I even read it when he told me to have it. And got my own copy as well. If he hasn't read it, please read it, Tommy. But this book it's such a good middle grade, and it was such a powerful middle grade. Like, it's a strong female main character rescuing people, got totems, it's got Indigenous heritage, Indigenous words. It's one of those things where it's just, I absolutely loved this book and came out of it learning so much more about my First Nations people and more words. And now I have a really handy dictionary at the back of this book. So let's get into the last 3 books. I read Jade War by Fonda Lee, Literally, second book in this series, absolutely adoring it and can't wait to finish this series. And I've heard amazing things about the last book, and I've heard that it makes you cry, and yeah, can't wait. That's all I can say. Yes, but if you haven't read the Green Bone Saga, highly recommend it. The last two books I read was Babel by R.F. Kuang. It was really good. Really enjoyed R.F. Kuang books before. Sorry, coughing. Dark Academia, set in Oxford, and I recommend it. And then the last book I read was Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Osman. If you haven't read Heartstopper, it's like a gay teddy bear that gives you a warm hug. It is absolutely adorable. It is just sweet. It is just full of queer romances that make you feel amazing and beautiful in the world, and how you just wish the real world was like this. But you know, highly recommend. So here is all the books. Really good reading month, or 2 months, I can't remember, but it was good. I really enjoyed all the books I pretty much read except for one, which was that 4 Jacks book, because that was utterly awful. But yeah, March is April. That was March. April, which is the current month that we're in, is going to be a lot less reading, but that's okay. But I shall see you all in another video. And yeah, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all in whatever I post next. And I'll see you all later.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.